Good evening, everybody. We are recording, so you don't really worry about how many people's on. The first two recordings, 11 and 1 o'clock is on. For one other reason, the 1 o'clock video took nearly 2 hours to upload to YouTube today, but it's on. We're just going to summarize what we talked about in the first two calls. It's all about preparing your board, preparing your field for the rain. I told the story of the old man who speaks to the coach to tell him that he needs to stay where he is, and then they talk about preparing your fields for rain. It's useless to pray for rain and you don't prepare. There's some work that needs to be involved, and that's what we're doing with the boards. I'm going to share screen quickly again and then show you that board there where we worked on so extremely well, which is now in the meantime finished. I think what was it called? 011. 011. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, let's go up. I'm gonna just scroll up and then I'm gonna stop the screen sharing and then first talk about your boulders if they are short. Oh, this group was very, very active. Wonderful. Right, it's set now. What we do if a board, if any of the members on the board request that we open a chat group for the board, you send a photo of the board, a photo of your information block, a photo of the Legends information block. I put it on a little group where Elise will then open the group with the Legends name. My request is that the history gets made visible, but it doesn't always happen because of the amount of groups that she's opening. She opened more than 170 in the last 24 hours. What I do then is to go look at the photo. We start adding a few people and ask them to add the rest of the board. And we look then firstly at a board with 7 people on. 1 legend, 2 guides, and 4 boulders. That is a board that you can start working on. Whoever want to invite from the boulder links. If you're the guide and you've got people, get the boulder to send links out, 2 per boulder if they're too short. Then in some instances, we have boulder number 1 or 3 short or missing, and it's not been filled yet by compression. We will then get a link out for that side of the board. The legend will confirm, and it trickles up. When boulder 2 and 4 is open, it's a little bit more difficult. You need 3 profiles to get that boulder position full. So somewhere along the line, somebody is going to be sponsored in. If you on boulder 2 have an opening, you fill position 1 and 2 on the gifters, and then one of the gifters will send out a link which will trickle up. So that person gets sponsored in and he jumps 1 level immediately. And then we have funny boards like the one that we worked on now. I'm going to open up again. We found this board and Andrew contacted me and said, what we're going to do. I said, right, let's start working on it. There's 11 open spots. We decided to allocate the people that guessed wrong on what was in my cup on Thursday. I think there were 16 or 17 of them. So we decided to load some of them on here. Now, the first thing is to agree on the gifting. I am sponsoring in all the positions on this board. So on the version 2 profile, I will give the legend for SOL 0011 version 2. So that was out of the way. Nobody had to gift, because I will carry that over to version 2. So the first item on the agenda was get a link from Leah24. And we don't have many profiles of his own because he's assisting with Seeds of Love and he sometimes forget about himself. So I said, you take that position for yourself, step by step, whatever number it is, small number, doesn't have many of them. We then asked Leah for a second link, and I put in a sponsor profile in there, new subline 34. We then got on the board. And then to help step by step on the future boards, and remember this board is haywire from the start, so it will stay haywire in future as well. We then got a link from Step by Step, one for South African and one for American. The American didn't read messages, so they had to replace with another South African. The board then looked like that, and I said to Andrew, do not confirm, because we don't want Seeds of Love to send out a link for the right side. We want to bring it from the left. And new subline still got invites left. We then allocated or sent out 3 links from the left, from gifter number 2, which landed in positions 5, 6, and 7. There's number 5, and there's number 6 and 7. I then told Andrew to start confirming. He confirmed number 5, which then immediately trickled up to Boulder. By the time he took the photo, that profile was still sitting in Boulder. When he confirmed number 7, that profile then moved up to the guide position. There's the first photo Andrew sent, with number 5 moving to Boulder 3. And then when he confirmed 6, that one moved up to guide. And this gifter then moved up to Boulder number 3. We then confirmed number 3 and number 4. And then we confirmed the last one is another submarine sponsor profile, which then moved up to Boulder number 4. And there we sit with the whole board, ready now on the right-hand side to work. So what did we do here? I got 1 link out from the number 4 Boulder. And that got registered. And then I asked 2 links from Doxy 11 so that we can get that one covered with the 2, because this board is going to split now. And we asked for 1 link from Calivac. So in effect, new subline got 1 invitee there. Doxy got 2. And then Calivac got 1. So when this board splits, Calivac and new subline moves to guide with only 1 invitee, and that's where the first 2 links will come from when you work on that board. On the other half, 2 of the boulders got the invitees in already, so we're going to use links from the gifters. On this one, there will always be a boulder somewhere without their 2s, and as we go along, we'll just accommodate that. So there's 2 on, there's a 3rd one on, then we've got the 4th one on, and then it splits. Doxy registered yesterday as a gifter, and is now in legend position. That is, if everybody works together and everybody works fast and follow guidance. That's how easy that is. We do have a few other boards like that. I am going through the groups. Do remember that I've got a huge amount of messages. I work from the bottom first, the ones where I'm tagged in, to see what I need to do, and then all the other groups. The group get open with only the legend name. I then edit the name to include the compartment or the deck or the station number and the boarding call number. And then we start working on the board, get 1 person in, and then get the other people to work from the board and get everybody on the chat group. The groups are working. I do suspect we'll have by tomorrow evening roughly 400 of them open. We're now sitting on 330, just over 330, and there's still more photos coming in. If you want us to work on your board, send me a photo of the board, photo of your info block, and a photo of the legend info block. It doesn't matter which vehicle. We will open the group and start working on it. Okay, that is concerning preparing your boards. Make sure your board is ready. If you've got a full board with 7 members on, start talking to the people as we add you in the group and see who's doing what. Some boards, one of the first ever boards that started working on their own, got one person in on day one, took another few days for the second one. They got 5 on board now after 5 weeks. And there's 3 people whose committed positions is coming up. They will finish the board. There's no time frame. You work at the pace that everybody can accommodate. Be nice to everybody. Don't put pressure on anybody. Some people take a very long time before they get a new person to come on board. Some get 4 or 5 or 10 or 200 at the same time. So be nice to each other. If you are nasty, I will see it in the group. And do not underestimate my ability to name and shame you. It's none of my concern what any human think about me. If you misbehave, I will let the whole general dream group know about your misbehavior so that they can attack you and teach you manners. And after that, I'll put Andrew on you. He can be very straightforward and abrupt. Right, that's all I've got to say for now. Any questions? I'm ready for a lot of questions. Or must I start calling names again? Just a small note on the time of this call. Remember, it's a call for the Americans. So it's not 1 o'clock Eastern Seaboard time anymore. It's now 12 noon because there was a time shift because of daylight saving time. But it's still South African time, 7 o'clock. It looks like there's no questions. Somebody asking a 1 o'clock call about motivation. How do you motivate people? How do you motivate people to stay loyal to Gift of Legacy and do what they're supposed to do? Logging in once a week, inviting, sowing the seeds. What's the recordings of the motivational calls? And over time, you can get yourself a good picture together of how to approach people, how to communicate, how to listen. Communication is not only talking, it's also listening. And then go out to the world and tell them about gifting. And when they understand gifting, you tell them about Gift of Legacy. Looks like I'm going to have a quick, well, fast call is going to be over quickly if there's no questions. I've got nothing else to tell you today. I spoke enough in the first 2 calls. Not one question. Well, unmute yourselves and shout bye. Recording will be up hopefully in about 25 minutes.
Unfortunately, it's all the regulars that are on the call, Stefan.
Does it mean you don't have answers? Do you know everything about the algorithm?
I don't understand the algorithm. I
Do you
understand Gift of
understand the Gift of
Legacy.
Legacy algorithm?
Yes.
Explain it to me in 2 minutes, please.
2 by 2 by 2.
Ah. That is how you fill boards. That's not the algorithm. There was a video or voice recording published somewhere where the person said filling a board 2 by 2 by 2 is the algorithm. That is not the algorithm. That is filling a board. That's normal procedure. That is not the algorithm. The algorithm is a set of rules to tell the system how to react if something happens. If a board cycles through, where must the legend go through on the perpetual? If somebody gets invited, where must he land? Your 2 by 2s will land. It is where they must land. You must know from which position a new profile is going to land, depending on which other gifters are on there. And there's many variable possibilities. That is things that you need to understand over time. And I will do a little series of photos, board photos, if I can find enough of them with all the possibilities, and then explain to you where the next gifter is going to land, depending on where you invite from. So the algorithm is not 2 by 2 by 2. The algorithm is a set of rules that tells the system how to behave. And it is in place. We saw that on, I think, Wednesday afternoon when we peaked on a gold board and 17 or 18 profiles wanted to go to the oldest board. The system can handle the leading profiles of GGM going to the oldest boards, and it will happen. And the submarine leading profile linked to that GGM is going to cycle easily 15 times before any of the others, because we've got a lineage over 11,000 strong now, and they're going to keep on cycling. Right, no questions, no more questions. And nobody wants to say bye, then I'm just going to end the call. Unmute yourself, shout bye so I can get this thing uploaded.
Lucky your
Bye-bye,
life makes me laugh.
Captain.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.